How's everybody doing on this National Women's Day? It's awesome that we're out, and it's really getting to be springtime outside. So if you notice this nice image up here, Technology Bob, gardening time. As I said earlier in other videos, we are going to do gardening stuff. Well, today we actually have two projects. We're going to do one today, and we're going to do it right here in this area. We are going to make some baskets. I know rabbits get into stuff, eating young plants, fairly inexpensive. I think I paid like $7 for some chicken wire and stuff like that. And also we're going to do a covering for plants, in which it's longer. I have to go out in the shop, we have to cut wood, we have to put things together. That won't be done today. But before we start, and I've had people mention this in the notes, we got to have our beer. The beer, the IPA today is Anti-Hero. Anti-Hero IPA. Woo! I want to put that there, just let that set just a bit so everybody can see it. And then I'm opening up because I'm getting really thirsty. Really thirsty. Anyhow, this is Anti-Hero. Fairly decent IPA. So, it's noon, right? Good stuff.
Technology Bob.
Wow. All right. So, as I mentioned, today really right now is what we're going to do is we are going to create some baskets. We're going to make some baskets right here from things that you can buy. What you will need for this, need some chicken wire, and I'm going to make these baskets 2 foot. So this is 2 foot chicken wire. We will need some wire ties. So I'm not exactly sure what we want to cut this with. Well, we got some snips. I got a couple flavors here, just in case, and a tape measure. All right, and we can't forget our beer. You will also need 2 buckets. Now I just got some buckets from Menards. Just a couple buckets, just a couple 5-gallon buckets. And we won't need that for a while, and actually these buckets we're gonna use them as a form. So it's not something, you don't even have to have, can have holes in the bottom of it, can have all this other stuff, it doesn't really matter. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna need to go get a knife. So sorry about that. I thought I had everything out here, but I didn't. If you've ever bought chicken wire before, it's sometimes a pain to get open. So I'm sure we'll speed right through this.
Oh yeah.
All right. Got our chicken wire open. We get it unwrapped, and there's really no easy way to do chicken wire. If somebody knows how to do it easily, they need to let me know in comments, because it is a pain. So, all right. So we're going to make a couple of these. What we're going to do is we're going to kind of stretch it out here. Make sure we don't spill our beer, because that's just alcohol abuse. I mean, you spill beer, it's just alcohol abuse. I mean, it's just, so we want to get it as flat as we can. We're going to cut a couple of these because we're only going to do a couple of them right now. And there's no real easy way to do any of this besides just do it. I mean, I'm sure if I was outside, I could unroll this and stuff like that. So we are going to get a straight edge on here. And how I like doing this is because you can get cut really bad on these, the little scratches. But anyhow, there's not much you can do about it. So I always, the stuff that's always folded over, I always go down and I cut it off and throw it away. I know some people saying, That's kind of wasteful, Bob.
Yeah.
Well, that may be, but it is so much easier to not have to deal with that when we're making stuff out of chicken wire, fencing stuff, or keeping rabbits out, or making chicken coops. I guess you could be making chicken coops. Heaven forbid, or heaven we actually make a chicken coop out of chicken wire. Wow, that's something. So what we want to do is we want to make a perfect square here. So this is 2 foot, and we'll measure it again. It's 2 foot, and we're going to come over here 2 foot. Come over here 2 foot. So we're going to cut down the middle of this one right here. Get in here, Nick. Get in here. You got your close up. You notice that we're going to come over here 2 foot right here. All right. So we're going to cut that right here. So we're just going to cut that down here. And we're going to do a couple of these. So we're going to probably fast feed through this.
Oh, yes.
We got one cut. We got one out of the way. So we're going to just set that down because we're going to use it in just a minute. I said we're going to make 2 of these, so we're going to make 2 of them. Set this off the side. What we got here is we have, let's say that the rabbits are getting in that chicken coop. There's a baby rabbit. I mean, that is 1 inch. That is 1 inch. So it may. Rabbits can fit through that stuff. I mean, they're anything. I mean, little small rodents. Voles are really, but they'll dig in the ground if they wanted. I don't know. These may not protect that much against voles, but they may, I don't know. And I mean, she told all her friends and everything, and I mean, we ended up, oh my, there's lots of them being made. So I figured I'd share it with you folks. And this is wrapped, I think this is wrapped tighter than a hot dog in July. I don't know how hot dogs are wrapped in July, but apparently they're wrapped tighter than this. Yeah. Must have come from Taco Bell or something. I don't know. That's like a chupalupe. Is that what you say? Chupalupe? Chulupe? All right. We have our wire cut. We have our chicken wire, and we have our other wire. All right. That's really, we're going to take one of these buckets, and I may have to put this on the ground. And what we're going to do is we're going to center this over the top of this bucket. Watch, look at that, Nick. I'm going to center that over this bucket. Get it pretty close, as close as you can get it. What we're going to do is we're going to take the other bucket, make sure that we're even all the way around. Okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to take the other bucket, and we are going to go down as far as you can get it. And you sit on it. All right? So, look at here. So, we have that together. We just molded a cage, or a thing for your plant. It comes out pretty good. You notice this? Wow, it's kind of crooked, huh? Well, we'll fix that here in a minute. We're gonna mold all these. Again. All right, so we got one that I have never done before, and this is with the thicker wire. This might be something. You might not even see any of this. So, I guess the moral here is here's what we end up with. This one is nice and tight, but it actually was harder to make, a lot harder. Now, one of the things we want to do now, I'm sure if I pre-molded this or something, it worked awesome. Or maybe even a press, because I actually like the way this looks. But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna trim up around these. So we're gonna take, for one thing, I got these wire ties here, all right? And we may wait until we're done here. We basically want to go around this, and I'm gonna cut it here, folks. I'm gonna trim it off, but you can just do this, especially with the chicken wire. You can just fold that up in there. You want to take like a wire tie, all right, a Ziploc thing, and you want to go around this, just like this. Just like in here, you're just gonna hold it together. So we're just gonna snip that up there. We're gonna see there's another one on this side. We're gonna do the same thing over here. All right. And I know what you're saying. You might say, well, that could probably look better, Bob. Maybe, it probably could. I mean, it can. But you gotta remember, all we're doing now, folks, is protecting the plants until they get big enough. So we're gonna cut this off here. All right, there's one made. One's out of the way. This is a nice looking one, I think. This one we'll probably have to cut this one off, because I don't think there's no folding it up. So we're just gonna get in here. I don't even know. Yeah, we'll put a couple on here. And you can, folks, let me tell you, you can make this a lot prettier than what I made it. But it really, to be honest with you, I don't know that the plant really cares. And so, I think, so what we got here, let's look at what we got. I ain't gonna put any things on there. In a matter of a few minutes, we made 3 baskets. We made I would call this heavy duty industrial type one. All right, I would call these, let's just get her done. This is what I would do more often, and I'll do the whole roll because it's easier, and you can get smaller, I think a little bit too much, but you know what? This is something that, you know, I think if I had to do more, I'd probably come up with a little different system to do it, but it'd still be basically the same, using the buckets and the mold, because you can see it actually works really well. All right, so, well, I think that's it for today as far as this project goes. And I want to thank you for watching. And if you haven't already, subscribe. We will have many more videos coming. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. And please come back, because we are going to do that plant thing. Anyhow, bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.